9/21/2021. We're interviewing you for our couples or to have to hold. So thank you for being here.
Happy to be here.
Have you thought of anything that you would like to bring up about your relationship, knowing you're going to do this? Or should I do all the questions?
You do
the questions. We'll do the answer.
We'll let you do the leading this time.
So how long have you been together?
29 years.
Whoa.
I thought it was longer.
Feels that way sometimes.
Forever.
And what's your anniversary? I know you told me you had 2 dates.
Yes.
March 3rd and 4th, because we couldn't agree on which day it officially was, so we just decided why pick?
It should be both.
Why pick?
Yeah.
Stretch it out.
Can't dance.
Twice the celebration.
And in keeping with our idea to record the past and inspire the future, what were the key things that you found when you were attracted to each other that you said, oh, I want to make this work?
Do you want to go first?
From the get-go,
Right.
she's a reader.
You like that.
And yeah, I love that. I mean, once everything else is passed, you can still share your love, your joy of books.
You're a reader also, I
Yeah.
assume. Uh-huh.
In fact, one of our first dates was reading James and the Giant Peach out loud to each other.
What a good idea. Whose idea was that? I like that.
Hers.
Very good.
But it was fun, you know, and it gave the story a different nuance.
Mm-hmm.
And it was good to hear the written word in her voice, in her animation of it, you know, it's really...
So it wasn't just, you weren't just reading the words.
Yeah, it was cool.
Great. Can you give us a few lines from that?
No,
Doesn't it start with like Once Upon a Time?
Right.
it always starts that way. No.
So good. So you still share your love of reading together?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in fact, she just finished a book and I saw it sitting there and I knew she'd finished it. Just finished it. So I immediately swooped it up.
And then she goes, "You were finished, right?" I'm like, thankfully.
Just checking.
Otherwise, we'd have a fight over.
So you say some common interests and it would be something to look for.
Yeah, we also played soccer, or watched soccer initially and played together for a while, and then that was a good bond, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The shared interest. We were friends before we got together.
Were you?
So
How long?
years and years.
We were
Really?
we were friends through a mutual friend,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and
Who I played soccer with.
Yeah.
So it was like,
Had you had other relationships prior to this one? Of many?
fun.
oh God, yes.
25, 10?
I'm not.
I
gonna-
stopped counting.
I'm not
There's so
gonna
many.
number. But this one was different because, at least for me, you know, going into the 4th or 5th date and not having kissed or hugged it was just like talking and getting to know each other, and so it felt deeper in the beginning rather than just like sex and lust, which is, you know, nothing wrong with that.
No, right.
It was good to feel the other connection on a higher level.
In other words, she didn't have her all of her belongings piled up in the van.
U-Haul was around the corner.
Remember the Akron?
No.
It was a store, sort of like Target. It was on Sunset Boulevard. I used to say, we met on Tuesday, and by Thursday we were at the Akron shopping for things for the apartment. And you would go there on
Okay,
Thursday,
that's-
there were many gays in there.
Oh, that's funny. I never heard that.
You know, I think that was the name of it. Someone will correct me, I'm sure. But. So you took your time.
We did. And we were talking about the love of reading, and one time we went to a mutual friend's birthday party, and they had a book there that I liked, and I said, "Hey, look." And so I made her sit down, and it was like a kid's book, so it was easy reading.
Uh-huh.
And we read it, and we chatted, and then people started saying goodbye, and we're like, people
Was it
leaving
party
early? The party was over. It's like 5 hours later,
Huh.
we realized that all we had done was sit in the corner and read a book and talk to each other.
Oh, nice.
And that was like, she's a keeper.
So you read before, did you read as a child? Did you read a lot as a
Oh
child?
God, yes.
Uh-huh.
My mother, that was our Saturday go-to was a trip to the library to pick up a few books. And then by the next Saturday, all the books were read and returned. Right?
Well, I never went to the library. We used to get books, and my sister and I would stay up till 2, 3 in the morning reading.
Oh, good. So that was March 3rd and 4th, what year?
92.
29 years ago.
92.
92.
Yeah.
19 what?
1992.
See, my math isn't that fast. Okay. I can read, but my math is slow. And when did you move in together?
I don't remember. It's like a year, 6 months.
Within about 6 months we were living together, but
Not living together.
Yeah.
I would come over to her apartment,
Yeah.
and I was still living in my home.
But then we bought a house together, or you bought a house.
We got a house. So,
Are you still in that same house?
yeah,
Mhm.
it's a really nice Spanish
Stucco.
stucco.
Where is it located?
It's in Glendale.
Uh-huh.
It's a beautiful house, but it's not in an ideal location because it's right across from a middle school.
So what do you like best about Dora?
There's so many things.
What's the first one that pops in?
She has a quality where people just flock to her, and there are times where I'll be out, and a good example of this is I went to a dinner the other night with 20 people that are 20 volunteers that are in a raptor study that I worked on. And we had it at, I'm going to give a plug,
Go ahead.
Palermo in Los Feliz. And the owner of the restaurant, he saw me, came over, gave me a big hug, and he goes, "Where's Dora?" And I went, "Dora wasn't invited."
Oh no!
So, I mean, that's like very natural. Yes.
On the other hand, when I'm somewhere, I get the "Where's Kathryn?" So it's a nice.
Nice to be acknowledged.
Nice
There's a
So we're like
yes.
this.
It's a nice acknowledgement that people consider our partners, equally nice, equally friendly. It's just friends.
Equally.
equal a partnership.
And what's very funny is Dora is not a aficionado of children, but
It's like they glom onto me.
yes, they do. It's very funny.
Cats and dogs do that too?
Yeah.
Really? Interesting, huh?
Do they?
Yeah,
Oh,
I've seen
okay.
that happen. So what are the high spots that you like about Kathryn?
Yes.
Okay. Do we have time?
That's funny. I would say her passion for everything. Sometimes it's a bit overwhelming.
It's annoying.
Is it?
Sometimes it's a bit annoying. I will agree with that.
You
But
sometimes feel left out of it.
for the most part, it adds another level to what we're experiencing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, for instance, the raptor study. She doesn't just volunteer for the raptor study.
I actually didn't, let me rephrase that. I didn't work specifically, I worked on to get all of the do on the page.
Well, so sometimes she'll go out
Do
and
it
look at the
right.
nests
Uh-huh.
in nature, and sometimes she'll do the online putting together, which is even harder as far as I'm concerned, of all the photographs and the data and all that. But she's not just what's the word?
I don't-
Satisfied with just putting it up and it's there. It's got to be perfect. The photos have to be just so that and I like that attention to detail.
He's intense.
She's very intense. In fact, when we were first getting to know each other, and
Speaking of it, that's
we
a
would
good
go to
point.
parties. We found this out later about each other. Our friend Denny would call and say, I'm at a party, can you come? And she'd call her and say the same thing. And we found out later that we would both say, is Kathryn going to be there? Is Dora going to be there? And then I would get to the party,
It's good to
and
know those things. though.
I would see Kathryn. I would come over, and invariably she was in a circle of people talking,
Holding
and
court.
expounding, holding court.
Right.
But everyone else was talking, and Kathryn was like, "Well, you have to understand," and so I would, hang out for like 5 minutes, and then go, "Okay, I can't take any more of this," and then I would leave. But then I would come back. So
You're
it's
still
like
holding court when you come back?
I had to learn how to handle the intensity, and I never said, lower your shyness or your brightness because it hurts my eyes. I just put some sunglasses on and.
Did your own thing.
Did my own thing. But, it was learning, appreciating her personality, and then learning how to bring it in and have it be acceptable for my personality.
See, and you not to lose any of who you are. who
Right,
you were.
right. So,
That's a good factor as we talk about educating people.
yeah.
That you don't lose yourself and become the other person. You stay who you are.
Yeah,
And that
and
grows.
so it's not like you become one, you're still two, but you're intermingling.
Right.
So all your good points and bad points.
What would you say is the most difficult time you've had together? And how did you handle it? Or a safer question might be, how do you recommend people handle differences or difficulties?
I think initially we were both
Struggling.
struggling. There was a time of, she used to live by herself, I used to live with my family, and then we were living together, and it was like, yeah, what do we do with this person? And getting to the point where you understand that I don't have to live my life her way, she doesn't have to live my way, and finding ways of compromising or adjusting. Like, I'll never forget this, the towels in the bathroom. There were two of them.
What
And
food
I
you
would
do?
shower and fold it and move the dry one closer to getting out of the shower and put the wet one on that side.
Because that's the way to do it.
Well, I just thought it would be
That's the way
considerate
she
for her,
does it.
for her to reach out and find a dry towel. So then she comes to me, she's like, why do you keep moving my towel? And because the way she saw it, it was like her towel is here and my towel is here and that was the end of that and don't touch them. And so when I explained to her my reasoning, she was like, oh, I go with it.
And taking
So,
care
but,
of you.
having our own habits, but then talking about it rather than just getting mad, like, God damn it, Dora, she moves my towel every single time and I don't know how to deal with it. So she just came out and said, why are you moving my towel? And I told her, and she's like, oh, well, that might be a good idea.
Do you still do that?
No.
No.
Now she has her rack and
Yeah,
I have
I have,
my
I
rack.
have a rack and I just
Your
move
name
my
on it.
towels and I know exactly where they are. you know.
I have two towels that I move back and forth, so
Right.
the dry one is,
Right.
is closer.
And mine is in reverse.
Your wet one is closer?
Yes.
Why? Because you have a beach over there.
No, it's.
I don't get it.
See, you have your way, and I have my
See,
way.
that's the thing to acknowledge, right?
Yeah, yeah. And I have some
Each
friends.
person knows their way is the better way.
I have some friends that
It is,
one
right?
like, one like to be right on time, and the other one time was flexible.
Nice way
So
of putting it.
they're right
Flexible.
on flexible, right on time. So the right on time woman said, "I'm leaving at 10:45. If you are out the door with me, you go with me. Otherwise, you drive your own car." And that
I should
worked.
start doing that.
That worked for them, and
That's a good statement.
instead of fighting every single time about you're doing it wrong or you're rushing me or whatever, you just lay a boundary and then go from there.
So did you talk to Dora before you retired? Was it a discussion between the two of you? Or you just...
Dora knew how frustrated I was at my last job.
Uh-huh.
I kept telling her to quit. Get rid of that guy.
And because it's really hard for me to not work. I'm work focused.
You liked it.
I do like it,
That's right. I
actually.
understand that.
And so I struggled and I struggled and I struggled. And finally one day, he just like, I was up here, you know. People are not hiring. I'm sorry, you get to a certain age, they stop hiring. Or I can just say, I've had enough and walk away. And I chose to have enough and walk away. And when he finally reached out after he got back, he said, okay, I'm ready for you to come start loading stuff in. I said, I'm not going to be back. And he wrote me and said, I'm very disappointed. And I left it right there.
And I, of course, wanted it through a celebration party.
Right.
because-
Have you done that?
No,
No, but
You take her on a trip or something.
no.
we're always tripping.
Yeah, for sure it is. So what's the most exciting thing you've done in Murder?
I don't know. Paris?
Did you go to Paris?
Several times.
The World Cup? Which one? Paris. Paris.
Well,
Twice.
we've had a couple of really cool, exciting trips. We look forward to more, right?
Always.
Paris.
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 Twice.
So now you need a retirement trip.
Yeah.
Now we need a retirement.
Are you going to retire?
I need to retire first.
She's
I
She's
am.
not going to retire.
I keep thinking I want to, and then something exciting will happen with work, and I'm like, I'm not ready yet. You know, I'm still enjoying it. And then something horrible will happen with work, and I'm like, oh God, why am I here? I need to retire. Yeah, so I'm kind of on that seesaw right now.
Did you take advantage of the marriage opportunity? Are you married, legally married?
No,
No.
we didn't.
We're just common law marriage.
Uh-huh.
We're fiancés, but we don't ever know. We don't ever know if we'll ever get beyond that part. But when we started, we used to have we had a 10-year contract.
Really?
So it's like no matter what happens, we're going to stay together for 10 years and work this out. It's like okay.
That's a good idea. Security.
So about 8 years in or 9 years in, we were like, okay, this is kind of working out. So let's do 10 more years. And then after that, we didn't really bother with it, but. It was just like, you know, how do we ensure that we give this relationship a fighting chance rather than at the first sign of trouble we say no, you know,
Right.
get out of town or whatever. So knowing that we had a contract helped us to work at finding solutions or, you know, not.
And
And it's-
didn't run off or give up.
Yeah.
Well, it's not to say that we don't have issues, because we do on occasion.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a given for
But
every relationship.
I think I'd be more worried if we didn't have issues because then it'd be like
I always remember
someone's
somebody
not
said,
saying.
we never fought. And I thought, whoa, what do you do?
Yeah, somebody's
Are
holding
they
it
still
in.
together?
Boom! We never fight. I said, oh.
Well,
We
I'm
never-
Irish, so I
we
have to
don't
fight
argue.
once in a while, you know?
And I remember one time we were arguing about something, and I said, I just really want to talk and get to a resolution. And she's like, fighting with you is no fun. And I'm like, it's
wanna
not
end
fun.
it.
It's not fun for me. So, and then we laughed. So it's like, okay, so now we know.
We're done. We can go
We
forward.
also have different
Ways of dealing.
ways of finding a resolution to something that we're talking about or fighting about or trying to decide about.
So what's the best advice you would give couples starting out
Good luck.
to be able to... It's the luck of the Irish. You have a green shirt on even.
Yeah. I think it would be like, don't expect it to be
Sweetness and light.
perfectly sweet and wonderful and fantastic all the time. At some point, you're going to end up trying to figure out how to get to that sweet, light, happy, and you're going to have to want to get there, and that's what's going to keep you together.
Wanting.
The wanting to work through a problem or work through an issue or work through an illness or whatever you confront, and you just have to want to be with that person.
Would you agree with that?
I would. You know, you look at a situation and you go, yeah, she's a keeper.
But I have friends who, like, when their partners get sick, they're like, I'm so out of here. You know, I am not made to be a nurse. I'm not going to do this. And I'm sad, but I also understand that that's them. You know, that's their personality. That's their commitment to their partner. And,
sickness and in health.
They have to make their choice. And my choice is personal and based on what I had with Kathryn.
Right. She's your person.
She's my person. And I think good humor helps.
Mm-hmm. I can see that you have that.
Like even when things are not funny and they're serious and they're harsh or whatever, if you can find something to laugh at, even if it's like how bad the situation is, then it gets...
if there was one word that would characterize Kathryn, just one word, what would you say? You're going to ask the same question.
Wait,
ready.
Oh my God.
One word! Kathryn is, I think, passionate.
Okay, that's a good one. How about you for Dora?
Solid.
Solid.
Yep.
Very nice. Thank you for coming. We hope, and I appreciate you staying involved because your feedback to me is really helpful, both of you, and your ideas where you can see it going, just feed them to us.
All right.
We like that.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you. It means a lot to us.